ready for today. Hello. Got my drink, got my bubbly. As you know, if you've watched any of the live streams I have done in the past, I always have a nice cold beverage or hot, but today I wasn't feeling coffee. I was feeling a grapefruit sparkling water. Yum. So, welcome, happy Monday. We are here for Studio Central and Artbeat Studio's live stream. We do a art demonstration every day, and we have been since the month of March this year, but we are continuing strong and we are doing them during a little portion of the summer. We actually were doing them on site at Studio Central in 444 Kennedy Street in sunny, beautiful Central Park, Winnipeg. But now we are, again, back at home, and I'm actually on the floor of my humble home studio because I felt like sitting on the floor today. Why not? I actually find that I do a lot of my own personal artwork if I'm just like, say, sketching or doodling something, just to kind of make myself be free and fluid. I sit on the floor and I really like that. So I'm gonna bring that to you today. Hello, Wynn, I see you. And hello, Marie, I see you too. Welcome to the workshop today. Welcome to my floor. Look at my crazy amount of books. Ask me how many I've read. Just kidding, do not. Not too many. Anyway, it is December, even though outside it really doesn't look like that. We are so lucky that it is not that cold, but it'll get colder maybe, I don't know. I would like a little light fluffy snow and nothing too cold. But in case it does, we need to welcome the snow somehow. And when I lived at home with my lovely parents, we would be driving down the road and we'd see all these beautiful wreaths on folks' doors. And now that I live in an apartment, some people have wreaths on their doors, but not too many. I myself do not own a wreath. I would like one. Maybe I will make one, because that seems like a fun endeavor. And who knows, maybe in the coming up weeks, we may have some art workshops teaching you how to make a wreath. I'll have to learn it first, or we could learn it together, because I think that makes a little bit more of a fun workshop. But today we're gonna make a wreath on paper. We're gonna paint and draw one in the want and wonder and need of having our own. So I have an example here. This is such a fun and pretty wreath. Oh, it's magical. And it's very light and delicate. It's not one of those big like bushy wreaths, but I think the one we can do today could have a little bit of both. So this is a watercolor painting I did in a workshop with our dear friend Kristen, who a lot of you may know. She actually does wreaths as her art. So I have, ooh, so pretty. I got this card from her that she was selling this weekend, part of her business and art that she sells. And it's so nice. And it's just a different form of wreath. It's like with berries and beautiful. And you can see it's not completely round. Is it oblong? It's a little oblong as a shape. It's a little squished as a circle. And that is more true to form. I feel like wreaths, we can try to make them circular, but there is either going to be bushier in one side or more, I don't know, berries and twigs sticking out. So that's what we're going to try with our workshop and our wreath that we paint today. But these are my two inspiration, and this is what we're going to try and do. Also, I'm going to make one a bit bigger than this, so that might be fun, or it might take me forever, and you will just be watching me struggling over a small piece. But we're going to start from square one. I'm going to show you how to get started with it. It is quite simple. All you need is a bowl. Something round, not even a bowl. I feel like a bowl is going to make a really large wreath, and that is the challenge I am doing with myself today, to try and make something this large. But you can use a cup. I had like a flower pot on the floor here I could have used as well, but I'm gonna try and going with this size and get my inspiration mostly from, in my head, what I think a wreath would look like. I'm gonna use these two as well as some ideas. And then I have, oh, the cutest little pine cone, because I feel like I've tried to draw or paint a pine cone before and it never looks real. So I have borrowed a pine cone. How fun would it be to paint these pine cones, make them look like little festive trees? Maybe that'll be next week too, but have that. For your other materials, of course, some paper. This, you can use any paper really that is thick and will hold a lot of the moisture that happens in watercolor. But this is just a watercolor tab. I received it from my lovely friend, and you all know his friend too, James, my coworker. He's so lovely. He lent gave this to me to have a beautiful drawing pad as we do some workshops. That is what you need. Next, what you need, I have a little painting tin. It is an old can of tomato sauce that I did wash inside. But you will need brushes. Now, I have quite a large collection and it is not necessary to have this many. I would say what you need is probably, these are all small. Again, I'm realizing I'm doing a larger painting with small brushes. Why not? So you will need, I would say, something like this, where it is very small. However, it can hold a lot of moisture in it. And this is going to be really important for when we mix those colors together, because I'm going to show you how to mix watercolors. It is honestly my favorite part about painting with watercolor, is not just using what is in your palette, but mixing and making these new colors, adding water, making it lighter. Oh, we'll get into that together. But yeah, one of these brushes would be fine. Show you here. Just something that is thin enough that you can still get some detail, but something you can load up with water and mix it around in there too. Next, I would say something thin like this. This is like a liner brush. It's very, very thin. Once you get this wet and have some paint on it, oh, you can make the thinnest lines possible. It is very pretty. And other than that, I don't know, I have these in my bucket, but I would say maybe I'm going to use this piece here. Now, I think I dyed it green. This used to be a white brush. Oops, not on the camera. But it is a little older, and I feel like I might not wet this brush. And actually, if you can see, whoop, it'll use a little bit of those sporadic bristles to try and get something looking a little natural or leafy. So those are kind of the brushes I'm going to use. Also, I have two extra ones because if you have watched any of my painting videos before, you will know I lose and misplace my brushes during the videos. So I have those for spares. But aside from that, let's put that one away. The most important thing, watercolors. So I am using this little like on-the-go field watercolor palette here. It's by Winsor Newton. I think this is my oldest palette. I think I've had this for, I don't know, 6-7 years. So we'll see if the paint still works. That's the nice thing about watercolors, is that the paint really never dries out. Maybe it probably does, but this is fun because you can buy these little colors and just put them in these trays. So if you don't like some of the colors that it has in here, you can always pick up more. And if you've noticed, at the top of my lid, I have my own mixed colors already. So all my lids of my watercolor palettes are always dirty because I am always mixing colors on top. And the best thing is that these colors I mixed, I just need to add water and I can use them again, which is one of the magnificent reasons watercolor is such a great art. You can always use up the paints that you've mixed for a past art piece. I don't know really how old these are, but I'll be able to use all these colors just by adding water, which is quite fun. And then you need water. I have a few jars of water. I use more than a few because I know I'm going to be using green a lot, but if I want to use, like, say, a red or pink or yellow, I don't want to have to get up, change my water, so I have a few small ones on hand here. I also really like painting with the water. If I dye the water with, say, one color and then I want to use it a little bit lighter, I can do that. Paper towels is the last item we need. Paper towels are good because you'll always want to clean your brush, or say if you do put too much pigment on your paper, you can dab it off a little bit. One thing you do need that I forgot to put on our material list is a pencil. Whoops. Hopefully you have one lying around. If you don't, please run and grab one right away. A pencil would be great. One preferably that has a little bit of harder lead, not a soft lead pencil, because we just want this to be like the underlay of what we're doing. We kind of want to sketch out what our wreath is going to look like. Of course, it's not necessary. You can go right in and paint with your watercolors, but I like to kind of plan it, so we'll do that. Not like a real planet in space, like a planet, like I'm planning. So I have everything here. I think sitting on the floor makes me a little bit more loopy, I don't know. I'm gonna post these right in front of me, get inspired, put my little pine cone in front of it as well, and we're gonna flip you around. Also, while I flip you around, look at that sun. Oh, my plants are so happy. Don't look at my dirty computer screen. It has so many fingerprints on it, but look how happy those plants are. Wow, great. As you can see, that really emphasizes that I am in fact sitting on the floor, but we're artists. We are having fun, doing things at our own speed. Let me see how we can get the best angle for us here. I think this is probably gonna be great. Yeah, that's nice. So you can see my inspiration there. You can see a little bit of inspiration there. You can see my little pine cone here. And yeah, I'm not gonna use this full paper. This is just like, I think it's a 9x12 size. Not gonna use the full one. I'm probably gonna cut this afterwards and I'll use this spot after for something else. But I can put my watercolors there so you can kind of see what I'm mixing with and the like. Yeah, and then I have a eraser, but I might not use it. We'll see what happens. So first step, the bowl. Where did I get this bowl from? Oh, you'll never know. Not like it's branded on the bottom. So first step, we are going to put this bowl down and trace it. Should we do it in the middle of my page? Maybe. Again, I'm going to cut this. I'm not going to use the side of it. I just didn't want to cut it before. Didn't have time. But it's nice because we can either go out as far as we want in this. So, holding the bowl, taking my little pencil. Again, this is why a pencil was an important part of my material list, but I didn't tell anyone. And drag it around. Lift up that bowl. Whoa, that is a big circle, and we are done with the bowl now. That is all we needed that bowl for. Okay, we have a big old circle. Now, we can either, and now if Kristen's going to see this later, I don't know if she's going to comment on my methods for this, but with this beautiful card, you can see that the card kind of goes around and there's like branches coming off. Obviously, I can't do that on this side because I am quite close to the edge, but I can do something more of like that speed around here. And you can see here that it is a complete circle. And we said earlier, you know, wreaths aren't always in the full circle. They are, unless you are using like a wire ring or something for that wreath. And that is something we could do. Maybe it might save us a little bit of time because we have such a large circle. But I'm going to take my pencil and just sketch out a few leaves, spruce sprigs. Yeah, I'm no botanist, nor do I know much about plants aside from that they like sun and water. So a lot of the time when I do draw plants or branches. I make up what they look like, and that's fine. I'm drawing it very light. Oh, but you can see on camera from what I see, so that's okay. But I'm just kind of starting off with some spruce sprigs. Yes, they kind of look like wheat when I'm drawing them, but adding color hopefully will help that. But yeah, I don't really know too much what they look like aside from what I can kind of envision them. So let that just be a note to you that it doesn't have to be identical or perfect of what, you know, a fir tree or a spruce tree, what their sprigs actually look like. I think I've even drawn something like this. Like, it looks kind of like eucalyptus, but I don't know exactly what that is. So it's really just your own piece here. And it's like your own art. You want it to look what you're comfortable with, of course, but it's also just have fun with it, you know. I'm drawing some weird berry thing here. Also, you can see with here, I did really use minimal colors. I could use some yellow or like a golden color, because I don't know, I really like goldenrod and that, but I don't think that's very Christmassy. If you can draw a beautiful like big poinsettia flower, oh, that could be fun. Go along with the holiday theme here. But yeah, if you've ever seen some of those wreaths that have like the ring at the top that's bare and they just have that bottom bit, I think that's what we might actually try to do, because it might be very pretty. And of course, this is just laying the groundwork of what my wreath is going to look like. I can always add more, I can always take away because it is just pencil. Once it's dry, I can erase. Or this is a step that you don't need to do. You can just kind of go right in and paint. But I like having this as a little bit of grounding, and then of course I can always improvise a little bit afterwards. It's not necessary to fully do that. I mean, if you are good at drawing a ribbon, that could be something that would be nice to add. A ribbon. Kristen, tell me how you draw these berries. They're so fun, but I just draw a stick. They kind of look like they're from Doctor Who, like a little Doctor Who book. That's what my little sprigs look like. Yeah. But I want to kind of make this a little fuller. But you'll see, after you kind of draw out and sketch this part, you'll see how easy it really is to make a painting like this. And this could be something you could do for yourself and just like make it, hang it up in your apartment or your house to, you know, decorate a little bit for the winter solstice and the winter months. Or you can, you know, give it to a friend or a family member. Maybe somebody who is, you know, doesn't have anyone to kind of see or spend time with. And, yeah. This is also a great thing if you do make holiday cards for people. This is a great thing to do for that. But speaking of holiday cards, Kate Kaplan is actually going to be doing a holiday card workshop right away. It's already pretty. Oh, well, thank you. Definitely need to see it closer up. Well, don't you worry. I can zoom in. We can do a little closer up here. And don't worry, when we start painting it, it'll really pop with all these colors. There we go. Now you see what I see. I think that's a part of a song. Inspired by songs already. But yeah, it's just, you know, me doodling all these fake flowers. I don't know what flowers they look like in these holiday traditions. Even a poinsettia. I couldn't paint a poinsettia for you. Wish I could. I just like doing the spruce sprigs because it looks really easy to make. There we are. Yeah, I think I'm really gonna do just like really have it heavy on this side and let that side all be very light. Because I think that'll be so pretty. And then we get to go to the fun spot, or the fun part of this even quicker. And that fun part is mixing our colors and making them oh so pretty. One of the reasons I love painting like botanicals or floral pieces, not only because it reminds me of my lovely friend Kristen, who inspired this workshop today, but one of my favorite colors is green. Green is just such a nice color. And you get to really play and make so many different hues and versions of green. So another reason why I love doing botanicals is that I just get to play and add all those colors in. So, little known fact about me, I like green. I mean, my birthstone is an emerald, but I just love the outdoors, forests. Oh, so pretty. Okay, I think let's do a few more running up this way and then we might be done. I don't want to make it completely half circle. But we can always add more. This is just a time of playing as we paint. Again, playing as we paint, probably one of the reasons why I decided to do this workshop sitting down on the floor, because it's more of a free, carefree activity. I like it. Okay, you know what? I think that's good. I think that's good for what we have right now. The next important step is to mix our paints. So I'm actually gonna move us a little bit over here so we can see. I like all these colors that I have up here, so I will need another tray to mix with. And you can see I'm doing something very silly by mixing right on top of my painting. Might not be the best idea. I'm gonna put a little piece there to cover it. But going back to those brushes, we did need one of these thicker ones, and that, like I said, is to carry a lot of water and mix those colors. Now, I might not necessarily use this larger brush to paint with. I just really want so I can get those nice shades. So I'm gonna dip my brush, get it wet, and let's just reactivate this color because it really is magnificent. Oh, look at that. Let's maybe put some in here. So I'm just adding in water, picking it up, dabbing it off with my brush into here. And I have taken the paint there and added it here, but I want to add a little bit more, maybe like a little of this ochre color, orchard, however you pronounce it. Make it a little bit more of a lighter green. And let's make one more version of it here. And I think we'll just do it with water. That way we can paint with this later and it's gonna come out very, very light. But I think it'll be very pretty. Let's add a little bit of brown to this. This is, again, one of those beautiful things of watercolor, is that you can really transform colors so quickly and easily. And I kind of like it too because they do come out very light, the colors. So I don't know, for some reason it doesn't feel like as big of a scary commitment for me painting with a watercolor versus painting with a acrylic or something like that. But I've recently started painting with a type of paint called a gouache paint. Probably pronouncing it a little bit funny because I'm just new to it. But I enjoy using those paints because you don't have to, you can play with it like you play with watercolor, where it can be very light and you're adding colors here and there, changing it little by little. Or you can paint with it directly from the tube and it'll become a very opaque color. So it's really fun. There's a lot of versatility to it. Maybe we'll do a workshop with that in the future, but yeah, fun facts. That's why I like using that color. So I'm just gonna reactivate this golden color here. I think we're gonna use it, don't know when. And this pinky rose color, it is so pretty. I wanna add though some red to it because, I guess that's yellow. Oh, no, yellow, orange. I wanna maybe make like a little holly or those little red berries. So let's add some bright red to it and then a little bit of brown at the bottom here. So also the thing too is you don't need a lot of paint so it doesn't run that much. So that's really all you would need to do in the top of your palette, and then you get those colors right away. So let us go for it. I just noticed I had this pine cone and I never drew it. That's first. First step first, we need to draw some pine cones. Whoops. Okay, that was the challenge. I was going to challenge myself today with this. How do I draw a pine cone? Okay, that's pine coney. I just like those really wispy trees that have the pine cones in them. I think they're just so fun. Even like if you have like an artificial holiday tree, and you have one that has pine cones nestled in, oh, it's just the cutest. Like a Charlie Brown tree. You know, people always say that those Charlie Brown trees are whatever. I think they're adorable. I think they're so cute and precious. Okay, let's do one more. I don't think this looks like an actual pine cone. I think it's gonna be an abstracted pine cone. Shout out to James. We're doing abstracted pine cones today. Okie dokie, let's start painting. So I'm gonna move these a little bit off to the side here. And I'm going to take just my simple liner brush. And this is where we are going to go very lightly with the brush. Dab it in some water and trail it across. I think we'll do these sprigs of spruce first. I'm going to have my paper towel right close by so I can dab off any excess or even test off the colors there too. But let's start. I don't know, I think it's a smarter thing to go lighter and then work your way down, but I wanted to get right into it. So let's use that really pretty color. I'm just gonna move this down because it is very in my way. Okay. So then it's just dragging very lightly. Hope you can see that color added on there. And this exercise I really enjoy because it's more of like a building up than having your color there right away. So I mixed some other greens and I'm going to use those greens here. You can see I'm also holding my brush very tightly to the, I guess, bristles. And that's just so I can get a lot more control over what I'm doing. And I am doing a wet on dry technique for those of you who want to know that. Wet on dry, wet on wet. Wet on dry is nice because you get a lot more control over your color. Where a wet on dry technique, or sorry, a wet on wet would be I would cover my paper with water prior to adding in color. Whoops, it's a little intense here. And then add on the color, and I'm gonna get a lot more of like a spreading out than this sort of more distinctive lines. Which is really great though if you're trying to do like a marbling effect, or Kristen actually had posted a workshop on back in the summer, and she was doing moons, watercolor moons, and they turned out very beautifully. But she was using that technique where she would do wet on wet and get her paper all wet in a circle. Also used a bowl. That's where I got my tips and tricks of using the bowl for your patterns from. Yeah, she'd be able to kind of marbleize the look there. So, but yeah, you can really add any shapes and sort of flowers you want. Maybe add like a little bit of baby's breath or something, I'm not sure. Because if your wreath is indoors, really, you can do some like symbolizing colors of Christmas and the holiday season, but it's really up to you what you want your wreath to look like. Why don't you put some wild flowers in there? Maybe you had a plant, a hibiscus tree or something that was having flowers, and you want to add one of those into your holiday wreath. That's okay. Or hey, paint one of those poinsettias. Oh, that would be so pretty. So something I also do have off camera is I do have a pigment liner, and that is a fancy term for a fine point felt pen, or it can be another type of ink pen. But I have that to maybe add some final details after. That's something I enjoy using. It is in black, so I'm adding black lines to it, and that's only if I want to, but I think it adds a nice little touch afterwards. So that's something we can always do in the end. And something Kristen did teach me is not to use just one type of green. So we're going over all these pine needles with just this one green I have here, but we can go back in once they're dry and add in some more. Like I have a little bit of a lighter color green there. We can add in more of that green, or even go in now and add some different colors to it, just to really get a different feel and texture of the piece. Show some like light contrast and other stuff like that. But as you can see, this makes a quite moderately easy to complete picture, and it didn't take too long, because once we finish adding in these patterns here and adding the details of the leaves, there's just some berries to add and maybe finer detail of this ring around here. But other than that, it's a quite quick way to make a fun little holiday watercolor painting. So you can see there are some spots that I don't have any pencil lines written down or drawn down, and that's okay. I'm just kind of improvising and filling it up in some spots. You can see even on the spots I've already done, I'm going back in with a little bit of a darker color to add in more detail, and it just adds depth. I should just tape this on my door. Have that as my wreath. Or go hunting for more pine cones and make a pine cone wreath. That could also be quite beautiful. I think that's actually what my neighbor has. He has a little holiday pine cone wreath. But yeah, again, the pencil drawing prior is not necessary. It's just a nice way to kind of get your mind knowing where you are going to draw most of your lines. As you can again see, I'm not following all these lines straight and specifically. They're just kind of a starting off point. But you can see how wonderful this liner brush is. And I never actually used to use these brushes, but Kristen had taught me how to really appreciate them. And also Kate. Kate teaches a lot of our workshops on Fridays, but she'll be on Wednesday this week here. But she taught me the importance of a liner brush as well. You really can get some fine detail in it. And it's nice because it does hold a lot of paint. because it is so long and holds the paint in those bristles. I would always just grab the brushes that were very small and pointy and think that would be good, but I kept having to load up my brush. Where these liner brushes, you can see I'm able to even do maybe like 2 of these whole sprigs prior to having to load again. So really, really great tool is these liner brushes that have very long bristles, but they are just pointed at the tip here. Get those really fine lines. I've also, I think, used like a fan brush kind of for something like this. You don't get the same effect, obviously, but it can be like a quick way, especially if you're doing quite a large wreath, it could be a quick way to get your drawing out. And I think it's finally time to add some water to my brush. I haven't added water for this whole time. I've just been using the water that has been in this color. And yeah, it's been quite nice that I don't have to keep loading up the water even. It just, again, shows you how wonderful these little liner brushes are. There we go, added some more color. I think I drew some weird leaves here, so let's a little bit more water in there. Yep, those are some leaves. Again, don't know what type of wild wintry plant that is. I made it up. Maybe it was supposed to be berries, but they're green now. Okay. So once we finish this weird branch of whatever it was that I drew, we're gonna look over and see if there are any spots that need a little bit of a darker green or like a brown. These berries, I think I wanted like a brown stem to them, so I'm adding that in now. And this brown I'm using actually does have a little bit of green in it, so it's going to blend very nicely. That's like a little tip you can do for, you know, making paintings. You want everything to have a sort of similar color scheme. It's not necessary, of course, like as you're painting. However you want to make it done is the right way for you. But it is a nice way for things to look very cohesive. But I think this is a little too green for my liking to paint that pine cone. Good thing it was like a weird long pine cone. I'm gonna have to add a little bit more brown to that. So let's just add more brown to that color that we're working with. There we go. Let's try it with this other pine cone down here. And hopefully you dry lighter, because I don't like how dark you are. We'll go over that weird green color. This was my first time drawing pine cones, so I think they're okay. Okay. And if you are going to use a pigment liner following this, I would recommend just making sure that your painting is mostly dry. Otherwise you could do some smudges, unwanted smudges that is. Sometimes you want smudges, but sometimes you can leave unwanted ones. Okie dokie. Draw the rest of these berry twigs that I have. And maybe just some brown twigs sticking out, because there's always twigs in these, right? There's always twigs wrapped around. Makes it look more foresty. Now I don't know if I want this whole ring to be brown or if I want it to be like another color or use black, but I think I've started. So I think it's gonna be brown. I think I want to try and do like a weird twisty thing. Will I ruin this? Maybe. By doing this? You never know. Sometimes. Sometimes that's how a little creativity can make it look a little different. But I can always make it like thicker, like actual branches. And then maybe you want some of that branch to stick out down here. And a little bit more down there. We'll add some of my liner on here. It'll make it all better in the end. Okay. Go around up here. Ah, I held my breath as I did that last line. Well, this is okay, because twigs can't be in a perfect shape. So, perfect round shape. So that's what that's supposed to depict. I don't know. Okay, let us add our little berry colors. I wonder if this is going to be bright enough. Oh yeah. Let's use another brush, because I have 3 different types of brushes. This might be a mistake. Nope, we're gonna do it. We're gonna use this thick one. And add a lot of pigment. And just dab. It's dabbing okay. So I am just dabbing where I made those little circles, but I also can, you know, dab around. I might add some more greenery around this crazy claw, branch claw over here, because it looks wild. Okay. Dab, 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 dab. Dab, dab, dab. I don't think I missed any. That looks instantly festive. Cool. So festive and fun. Okay. Well, that actually was successful using a thicker brush. I think now we are just going to do some final touches on our greenery. That's the word. I forgot. I'm gonna move this because I'm going to knock it over. Final touches on our greenery. Maybe I'm making it a little darker. I don't know. I'm just kind of mixing the color willy-nilly. Okay. Do some extra greeneries. Because this is really that wow factor of our wreath, is these splashes of green. It's important to hum or sing as you are painting. Because, especially if no one's around, no one can hear you. But I think if you're doing something and humming, it truly shows that you're like peaceful, at peace doing something. Don't have a care. Just making a fun piece of art for yourself or others, whoever you feel like needs this. I think I want to make one more of these like little weird tree leaf things here. There we go. That'll add to the green. Or just make it look busy. Making leaves are very fun. I do attest to that. That just makes it look busy. Okay, well, we can add into that after. Well, that is really the wreath. So that is a way you can make your wreath look so fun and pretty. I'm gonna take you out of the thing there. So there we go. We have a very easy to do wreath. We have this crazy twigged round-ish ring around it, but then we have those nice little fur bits. And I think what we are gonna do, yes, we are gonna add that ink to it because it's gonna make it pop so much. So I'm gonna put you back in my little tripod here. And the last bit, again, another thing I did not put on our material list. Gonna make sure this works. It does, okay. The last thing I didn't note on our material list, but we have a pigment liner here. This is, again, just something that you have a little ink pen that is a very thin point to it, and you're able to add these really nice fine details to your piece. So I think let's start off with these little pine cones. Trying to find these a little bit with my pine cone inspiration right in front of me here, because I don't know how to draw that. There we go. And it's just kind of nice to add a little bit finer of details, even if it's not exactly outlining what you did. I think it adds like a very nice touch and texture to your piece. There we go. Just kind of like little bumps, little lumpy, but it adds so much definition. I don't understand how. Okay, let's add some lines here, maybe some extra branches. I think just adding with a pen after on watercolor drawings really adds that extra little bit of touch. Okay. And let's add some detail to these leaves here. There we go. Now we got this one. And I don't like adding in the full detail of the little fur sprigs. I think I much rather enjoy just drawing like the line in the middle. I think it adds just enough detail, but you don't like overcrowd what's actually happening. You don't take away from those pretty little lines. So it just helps with one quick line. Go, got those leaves, got this branch, got these little berries. And again, not outlining everything, of course, just doing a quick little draw here and there, really just to add some definition, because that's really going to add so much to this little drawing. Again, something that we did so quickly. Excuse me, Pinecone, you are in my way. Okay, now it's the big step to do this wild circular branch. And I think we again want to make it look like it's like a twisted branch of sorts. So I'm not going to draw it in like a full circle. I'm kind of going to try and make it in a way look twisted. twist it because I don't know what was on my mind when I decided to do it this way. It's like a little bit of a stick sticking out. Another stick. Now it just kind of looks like thorns. That is not what we want. And you can always write something in the middle like happy holidays, or it's winter, or winter solstice, or season's greetings, or I don't know, like just write like home or something in it. I know I did like a little wreath in this style and I put it in my bathroom, but it's not of like it's not a winterized wreath. It's more of a just like some flowers and stuff, and I wrote the word home in between. And I don't know, it's very nice to kind of go in there and see it every time. When I'm washing my hands or brushing my teeth or so. It just kind of looks back, because it's sort of right in the mirror behind it, so. I'm just making this thicker, more texture. A little bit of pen ASMR for you. All right, well, I'm gonna flip us around. Hello. Oh, Marie, you say, thank you, Marissa. It was fun creating a wreath. Oh, did you make one? Oh, I inspire you to make Christmas cards. Great. I'm happy to hear that. Show me what you do. That'll be great. Here is my wreath. Oh, that's kind of fun. Look how fun and festive. Go up close. It looks all right. I can hang that on a wall. Or write Holly, Mary, all the things right in the middle of that. But yes, that is a very simple, quick wreath. A little watercolor painting to do. And yes, Marie, like you said, it's easy to turn something like this into a holiday card. I, in fact, have this one done as a card. So, very easy to do, make little things like that, or just make little paintings for yourself. Voila! And it's fun to do, too. It's very, like you saw, simple and just easy to do and let yourself go with it. Mixing the colors is really fun, and I feel just very relaxed now, ready for the week. I like doing workshops on Mondays. Maybe I will make this my own day. Yeah, I think that's the nice thing. So anyway, thank you for watching today's workshop. Again, we are from Artbeat Studio, and Artbeat and Studio Central both believe that art and building community can have such a positive impact on your mental health and your community's mental health, because that is also important for you and your neighbors and people you don't know yet. It's so important for us to be with each other together and helping each other out. And an easy way to help each other out is to have a positive attitude. Sometimes that's not the easiest, but you know, if you make some art one day or just watch a friend on here make some art, it kind of puts you in like a peaceful, relaxed state, and that is the easiest way to look positive to other people. So thank you for watching. When you say that you're going to make your own holiday cards this year, good for you. I also have been making all my cards for every occasion this year rather than going to Hallmark, so good for that. That is all. Happy Monday, and we will see you here tomorrow with James doing a workshop on acrylic color blocking in the style of Art Deco. We'll have to wait and see what that means. See you later.